Welcome, Total Pro Nation. It is Lambo at the show of Lambo's World of Sports presented by Sideline Sports Network. We're going to be talking about the suspension of Ja Morant. The NBA Finals is over. The NBA season is over. Adam Silver was a man of his word. He handed out the suspension of Ja Morant because there was on two occasions he was holding a gun. That man is NBA YoungBoy 2.0. But I love Ja Morant as a player, but I don't like the decisions he made as a human being. So, Ja Morant is suspended for 25 games at the start of the 2023 to 2024 season. So about 25 games is around, he'll probably be back sometime around end of December, January. So Ja Morant, the second time, apparently he said he was holding a toy gun, but that just wasn't the case. He was holding a real gun, but he needs to take responsibility for his own actions. There was rumors going around talking about he enrolled in counseling and all this other stuff, but that was not true at all. So Ja Morant's 25 game suspension, and there's going to be a lot of questions towards that 25 game suspension. One of it is why it was 25 games. Um, the penalty does fit into the consequences because he had former Hornets player Miles Bridges, who was suspended for 30 games during the last season with a felony domestic violence against his girlfriend or whatnot. So they're trying to fit the punishment. They're trying to fit the crime. I think 25 is reasonable. I thought he was going to get 50. Just make sure you don't post the gun on Instagram and all this other stuff. So the other question behind it is, what do you expect the Grizzlies to be doing? Now you have a backup guard, Tyus Jones, as a replacement when Ja Morant's out. Um, it's going to hurt the Grizzlies because Dylan Brooks, he's going to go to China and he's not going to come back because Dylan Brooks is just a horrible player. He shoots so many threes. I never really, heard of him until he ran his mouth. So outside of that trade, Memphis also has 12.2 million in non-tax mid-level exception and three picks when they draft at 8 p.m. So if they draft two or three guys, they have a first rounder. You need to draft some size and a point guard as well. It's gonna hurt them a lot. Tyus Jones has averaged 16.4 points a game, 8.1 assists, and 1.8 steals. They also have Desmond Bain, but Desmond Bain is about up and down, so it's gonna hurt them a lot. And the final question is, how have the Grizzlies performed with Morant out? So when he was, he performed well. The Grizzlies this past season went 34-15 in the games was started by Tyus Jones over the past two seasons, including the playoffs. With Ja Morant being out, with him being suspended, but the Grizzlies have been more solid defensively and had better ball move with Tyus Jones over Ja Morant. Not to be disrespectful, but when you have a guy like Tyus Jones who has that veteran presence, who came from Duke, who came from Coach K, they're going to move the ball around a little bit more. So I think the Grizzlies will be somewhat all right. We won't figure out to the end, but we'll see how it goes. I hope Ja Morant learns his lesson on his 25 game suspension. And remember, guys, it's 25 games without pay. All right. And this man has already lost about $139 million to the All Star. He's lost his power rate deal and his body armor deal. So he already lost his deal, and Nike removed the shoe. So he's lost a lot of things, but I hope he'll learn from it as a man. Thank you, Total Pro Nation. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And shout out to Sideline Sports Network, where things only get bigger and better, and you get all the sports in the world. Lambo side 24/7. Thank you, Total Pro Nation. We will be catching you later on.